Hey everybody, I'm Robin.
And I'm Rob.
This is Rob. He's my sidekick. I'm going to be talking to you about gut health today. But first, I'll give you a little background on myself. I have a background in microbiology and chemistry, so I love talking about gut health, but I promise not to get too nerdy on you, too technical.
We'll see. I'll keep her in check.
I'll try my best. I'm 40 years old, and Rob and I have been married for 20 long years. We have two kids, Jordan, who's 19, and he's actually in this group, and he has been doing weightlifting and strength and conditioning training for the past 6 years. And then Lily is 14, and she's been ice skating, figure skating for the past 8 years. So we're not quite as busy as you parents and athletes who are on traveling teams and doing a lot of, running around that way. But we are, or we can relate because Lily actually does show choir as well, and we travel around for that.
A lot of weekends for that,
So we can relate to that and kind of the busy lifestyle that goes along with it. And bottom line, we all want to have our kids be as healthy as possible, right?
Absolutely.
And that's really difficult with a busy lifestyle, getting to the grocery store, buying those healthy foods, meal prepping, getting healthy food while you're out.
Just making sure they get out the door with it.
Right, which is why, we love this group because, we're learning all those things. And it's really difficult as a busy parent, as a busy family to get that done. But our health is just so important, and we're going to go into that, obviously. Unfortunately, Rob and I haven't done that well in this area. We've actually only been eating healthy, I would say, for the past couple of years. So for all of you parents out there who, may think it's too late, it's not. It's never too late. Our kids are actually following suit. They're starting to eat healthy. Really proud of them. But again, it's only been 2 years. So they, watch so many unhealthy habits for most of their life. 14 and 19. And it's already having an impact. So again, it's never too late. My unhealthy habits, just to give you a little more background, started really early in life, especially in high school when I started making my own decisions. So athletes out there, you're going to be able to make a lot of your own decisions. Some of you probably are. And this is the time to make good decisions because it will impact you later in life. And I'll go more into that and some of the issues that I've had with my health because of my poor eating habits. I was a cheerleader in high school. Woo! Go team. See a couple other cheerleaders in the group. But I was also very active in working out. Didn't eat so well. In fact, I didn't gain weight very easily, and I thought I had what I would call a fast metabolism, so I could eat whatever I wanted. Other people were jealous sometimes, but that doesn't last forever, kids. I filled up on sugar and carbs and fast food and diet pop and all kinds of crap. But I thought I looked okay on the outside, and really that's all I cared about at the time is I wanted to be thin and I wanted to look good because I was self-conscious, had, self-esteem issues, and I think a lot of kids have that. I know you parents probably see it in your kids. Athletes, you may be feeling that way too. You're not alone. Obviously, that is another topic, but again, what you do now, what you eat now, how you treat your body now is going to impact you 20, 30, 40 years
later.
Or maybe even sooner. So positively or negatively, it's going to catch up with you. So back to healthy gut. Bottom line, our gut is the gateway to our health. It includes every part of the body that's involved in digestion, all the way from your mouth down to your bottom, and a lot of organs in between, as well as the trillions of bacteria that live in your gut. Not all bacteria are bad. One of the main keys to good gut health is your small intestine, because that's where most of the digestion takes place. Not sure if you knew that, but the intestinal wall is actually only 1 cell thick, so not thick at all. And it has these finger-like projections called villi. This is not to scale. And you can't see it on here, but those finger-like projections also have little hairs on them called microvilli, and all of that increases the surface area so that your body can absorb all of those wonderful nutrients and all of those things that your body needs to function. Unfortunately, as you can see here in the picture, there's lots of other things that can get through when you develop little holes and tears in the intestinal lining. So these are the cells. Here's, the inside of your intestine. So we have toxins, microorganisms, gluten. Those can all get down into your bloodstream, and then your immune system is going to launch an attack. It's going to create antibodies against those foreign invaders. Even if it's food, obviously you need food, but your food's not supposed to be in your bloodstream. So you're going to develop food intolerances, you're going to have inflammation going on around your body, and it's going to cause all kinds of problems. And you may not feel it at first. A lot of times you won't. But again, later in life, it can even lead to things like autoimmune issues and irreversible autoimmune damage. So you don't want that to happen. None of us want that for our kids. Athletes, you do not want that for yourselves. So again, and this is kind of where I get in my story, I've really personally experienced this at its worst because of all that crap I was eating for the majority of my life, really. Again, it started in high school, but I didn't really eat much better up until a couple years ago. I developed what's called SIBO. It's small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and it's really, really, really hard to get rid of. So for years, and doctors don't know that much about it, unfortunately, but for years I suffered with bloating, especially belly bloating. So you almost feel like you look pregnant at the end of the day bloating. Cramps, constipation, diarrhea, gas. You really wanted to use that side effect. Whatever. But really embarrassing symptoms. I mean, nobody wants those things. Nobody wants to talk about them, and unfortunately, nobody does talk about them. But they're there, and I feel like I need to tell you about them because it's not fun experiencing that, and I was miserable. And at first, those were the only symptoms I had because I didn't know what was going on inside of me. But what was really happening is what we were talking about with the picture. I was developing leaky gut. My body was launching an autoimmune response against all of those, food particles and the microorganisms, the toxins, all getting through my gut into my bloodstream. I was having chronic inflammation problems, couldn't figure out what was going on. Why was I in so much pain all of the time? Getting headaches, and it was miserable. And 2 years ago, when we started eating better, I actually started to feel better. I was eating better, I was drinking my Shakeology with a digestive boost in it, and my body began the healing process. But because of all those years of neglect, it had gotten to the point where that wasn't enough. So I went to a functional medicine doctor, and I actually had about 4 months where I was on a very restrictive diet, like no sugar, no wheat, no dairy. There were a lot of things.
It was very minimal what you could actually have.
Yeah, it was miserable. I had to take very specific antibiotics to kill the bacteria, and we'll get into that later, but unfortunately that kills the good and the bad bacteria. So then I had to have probiotics, which we'll also talk about. But all of that stuff going on in there to get rid of the SIBO made me feel miserable. I was tired, just felt horrible. And it's not something that I would want anyone else to have to go through. Unfortunately, in our society, a lot of people have gut issues. America, especially, because of all the crap that we put in our food and we allow to be sprayed on our food, allow our animals to consume, to, get, like what Kim talked about, feeding our animals antibiotics, fatten them up, not spread disease. All of these things produce things like SIBO. So that's not something that you want to have, and I think that's going to become more and more prevalent, honestly. But even now, my body is rid of the SIBO, but my gut is still in the healing process. And one of the things I actually take for that is L-glutamine. L-glutamine is a really good product to heal your gut. This is just something that my doctor recommended for me, and it helps to heal those holes and tears. So it can actually be good for a lot of people if you're experiencing some symptoms, but you can talk to me about that later if you have any questions. It's something actually that I have Lily take as well because she's had some symptoms. So it's something that I recommend. But anyway, So that's why having a healthy gut is so important. One of the most important aspects of the healthy gut is the bacteria. So you don't want the overgrowth, but you do need bacteria there. Good bacteria improves our digestion. It strengthens our immune system. 80% of our immune system is in our gut. So you can imagine when your gut's not healthy, your immune system is going crazy and you're not feeling good.
Right.
It also helps us mood-wise. So we actually have more serotonin receptors in our gut than in our brain. So if you're feeling depressed and you're feeling down, you're feeling anxious, eat good.
Yeah.
Eat healthy food. You're going to start feeling better. It's crazy, but it's true. It basically, that bacteria, the good bacteria, helps functioning throughout your entire body. So let's just put this in the very simplest of terms, and this is the simplest.
Very simplest.
The good bacteria are going to feed on the good food you put in your body, and the bad bacteria are going to feed on the bad food. Again, that's very, very simplistic, but our bodies need a balance, and we got a picture here. Got a little car analogy for you. I'm sure you've all seen cars. We got Rusted Out Mater, and we've got Lightning McQueen. So Rusted Out Mater, he's getting the low-grade fuel with impurities, and Lightning McQueen's getting the high-octane fuel. Super high octane.
Super high octane.
Super high octane fuel.
Kapow.
Kapow. Yeah, I forgot about that. So let me ask you, which one would you want to be? Which one do you want to be? Because when you think about it, our bodies are like cars. And you want to be feeding your body the fuel it needs for optimal performance. I mean, who do you think is going to go faster, have more endurance, more power, more strength, more speed? Lightning McQueen. I think we can all agree we want to be the race car, right? Especially you athletes. Again, give your body the fuel it needs. And optimizing that good bacteria is one of the most important things you can do for your health. So, I'm going to get a little technical here. Try not to get too technical, but a little bit. So, how can you build up that good bacteria? Probiotics. Probiotics are good bacteria, and you want to give yourself good bacteria and constantly replenish that and help kind of to grow and flourish in your gut. Not all probiotics are created equal. So it's important to keep that in mind because the probiotics need to be living. You don't want to give yourself dead bacteria. That's not going to help you grow and flourish. You want to be feeding your body with probiotics that are living, and they need to be able to survive the acidic environment in your gut, in your stomach, to get to your gut, to get to that intestinal area where it can actually do what it's meant to do. So it's important to keep that in mind when you're eating foods like yogurt. A lot of people think, and actually when I went to a gastroenterologist, they said, eat more yogurt. It's got those probiotics. The problem is most of the yogurt that you find in the grocery store, full of sugar, acidic environment, some of it's not even real yogurt, and that's not what you need. That is not going to give you the bacteria, the probiotics that you need to replenish your gut. So if you do want yogurt, because yogurt can be very good, you want to get plain yogurt, organic.
Organic's the key.
Yeah, you don't want to have all of that full of sugar. Fermented foods are really the best source of probiotics. So we've got things like kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, raw cheese, again, the plain organic yogurt. All of those things are great sources of probiotics. Probably not on your menu, all of them, but again, really good sources.
Kimchi's not?
Fermented cabbage. But, some of us do need to take a supplement or have it somewhere as a supplement in our diet. And if you do take it in supplement form, what you want to look for is the potency, because you want a high potency of probiotics. Not everything is going to make it to the gut, like I said, the acidic environment. And you want to look for a variety of bacteria in your probiotic, a lot of different strains, because we have so many different types of bacteria in our system. So in addition to probiotics, you also need prebiotics. So prebiotics actually kind of fertilize or feed that good bacteria, And basically they're plant fibers. They're high in specific types of fiber to, again, feed that good bacteria. So some examples are like garlic, onion, asparagus, not quite ripe bananas, and things like chicory root, yuccan root. Again, probably maybe not things that you have in your diet right now, but some of them. And those are all great sources of prebiotics. So you need both. They work together.
It's the whole plant and the seed.
And soluble, insoluble fiber, very important. You need a good balance of both. Those can be found in fruits, vegetables, mainly vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And then digestive enzymes are also very, very important because they help break up those nutrients into a form that can be easily absorbed in your intestine.
It's critical.
And if it's not digested properly, the bad bacteria can actually feed off of that and have that overgrowth occur, which was part of what led to my SIBO. So those are all really important things. So probiotics, prebiotics, insoluble, soluble fiber, and digestive enzymes. Now, I know I got really technical there. Probably a little overwhelming. You may be thinking, how in the world am I gonna figure out how to get all this stuff, eat all this stuff? I don't even want to eat all those foods that you mentioned. Or you may be thinking, forget it, too much work, I give up. It's a lot, can be overwhelming. That's why I like to get it all in one place. And that's why I drink Shakeology with my Digestive Boost. Again, you can get all of these things in food. I just prefer to get it all in one place because it actually has those kind of weird things like chicory root, yuccan root, has the digestive enzymes, probiotics, prebiotics, soluble, insoluble fiber. This has been huge for me to stay regular. So if you have any gut issues whatsoever, highly recommend. It's been a game changer for me. And really that's been my secret with SIBO. SIBO is so difficult to get rid of. And it was actually kind of neat because when I went to my functional medicine doctor, they basically told me that I'd be doing this in 4 months and they'd reassess, I'd retest. And, I went to all these different like support group type things on Facebook and I did tons of research. I even went to a seminar from a renowned doctor in the field. And what I kept hearing was, most likely, first of all, SIBO is going to come back. You're going to need to be on this highly restrictive diet for probably at least a year. You're going to need multiple rounds of treatment. I didn't want to hear any of those things. So, I followed everything I was supposed to do, and I retested at 4 months. And the only thing that I had that was not in the diet plan was Shakeology with my Digestive Boost. And guess what? I passed. Got rid of the SIBO. I was the first person to graduate from their program, and it was only the one course of the treatment. And they were just thrilled with my progress. So
it's amazing.
I'm really happy, and thumbs up. Anyway, sorry to go into that, but I was also the highest level they had ever seen. So,
at the start, that's how she tested.
Yeah.
At the start, so that's crazy.
They didn't tell me that when I first tested, but when I got my second test back, that's when they told me, like, yeah, you're the highest we've ever seen. It's like, thanks for that. But anyway, I was just happy to be negative. And since then, I've had further blood work done because, again, my gut is still healing, so I still have inflammation issues, so I have to go back and test, and the inflammation continues to go down. So I'm really excited about that. Anyway, so now that we've talked about how to optimize the good bacteria in your system, let's talk about what can destroy that bacteria, which is what was part of my problem, and what you want to avoid as much as possible. So antibiotics, if you can avoid it, if at all possible, stay away from antibiotics. Now, again, before I started eating healthy a couple years ago, I actually used to get sinus infections a couple times a year, and I took antibiotics every single time. That does not help. But sometimes you do need antibiotics. And unfortunately, doctors don't generally tell you this, but you should be taking a probiotic supplement if you do need antibiotics. So definitely take probiotics. Now, antibiotics are not just medication when you have an ear infection or if you have strep throat. Like Kim said, you're getting antibiotics in the foods you eat. If you're eating meat that's not organic, that has been fed antibiotics, the animals have been fed antibiotics to fatten them up, to, reduce the spread of disease, you're getting that low dose antibiotic in your system. And over time, not good at all. Processed foods. So our society, huge. We eat so many processed foods. And that excessive sugar, those dead nutrients, all of that feeds the pathogenic bacteria. We don't want that. So stay away from processed foods. And I won't even get into that because there's so many different chemicals and things, emulsifiers and all just kinds of crap, additives, and you just want to stay away from them. Pesticides, probably heard of Roundup. So our crops, right, our fruits, our vegetables, our grains, they're all sprayed with pesticides, and that gets into us, and that feeds that, bad bacteria. It kills the good bacteria. So that's why we say to buy organic whenever possible. So just to sum it up, we as parents are leading by example. So again, it's never too late. If you're not already eating healthy, if you're not buying organic, if you're not looking for meats that are, no antibiotics, no hormones added, it's not too late. Start now. We need to be eating healthy. We're the ones buying the food. Yes, it may be a little bit more expensive right now on the front end, but you are going to be saving yourselves and your kids so much in life. They're not going to be sick, first of all. You may get sick once in a while, but not to the extent.
Not like that.
You're not going to be getting those diseases, cancers. There's so many inflammation diseases, autoimmune diseases. You're going to be saving yourselves so much in the long run. It is worth it to spend a little bit more money now and buy what you need. We need to educate ourselves. We need to read labels. Make sure our kids are getting everything they need to be the best that they can be. And we obviously want to do the same for ourselves. And you athletes out there, you need to educate yourselves. So you're getting all of this information. Use it. You have it now. So it's up to you to treat your body well, to eat well. Obviously you're exercising, you're athletes, but the eating well is the biggest part. So do yourself a favor and make sure that you have that healthy gut. You will not regret it, and it's going to help your overall health in general. Unfortunately, what we've found, what we've learned through educating ourselves, and again, I encourage you all to educate yourselves, but it's very difficult to get everything you need, all the things we talked about, even if you're eating very, very healthy. And again, that's why we drink Shakeology, because we're getting our micronutrients, our macronutrients, we're getting our prebiotics, our probiotics, our digestive enzymes, our soluble, insoluble fiber. We're getting all of those things, all of those superfoods. And it's a great tasting shake. So anyway, that is the bottom line. We want to give our kids the best. And athletes, obviously, you want the best for yourselves. So that's really all I have to talk about. And I know that I got more technical than I said I was going to, and I apologize for that, but I hope you were able to get something out of this. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any symptoms that you don't want to talk about in the group or post about, but you have questions about because they're kind of embarrassing, again, you can private message me. I'd be happy to help. I've learned a lot on this journey that I've been on, and I have a lot more to learn because I have a long way to go. But hopefully you're getting this information early enough in life that you will never be where I am. So with that, have a fantastic day, everybody. Bye. Want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye.